Aren't these the most delicate little baubles you've ever seen? Crue
Trime!
Who's ready for some Crue Trime? Crue Trime, you say? Crue Trime time. Is that what we say now? It's Crue Trime time. Please stop. Just someone stop me. Am I ever gonna run out of ways to embarrass myself? No. Hi guys, welcome back. In today's episode of Crue Trime, we are digging into the Redhead Murders. Ooh, if you want to hear this story, then just hang out. Okay, you guys, it has been a while since we've had a Crue Trime, but we got a good one in store. So my weird facts about redheads video was so popular, you guys really liked that a lot, that I decided to go with it. So when I'm choosing a story to cover on Crue Trime, I try to find one that's a little bit relatable, or at least that I have a connection to in some way. Not a direct connection, thankfully, but you get what I'm saying. So this one could not hit us any harder, folks. And when I say us, I mean gingers, redheads, goblins. So this is the Redhead Murders. Buckle up. Okay, excuse me, interruption from future me. This video is sponsored. This video is sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry. If you don't know about Ana Luisa Jewelry, where have you been? Do you live under a rock? So Ana Luisa Jewelry is a really amazing American-based company that focuses on sustainability. Their jewelry is crafted from recycled materials whenever possible, and the recycled materials actually is very interesting. They come from previously owned jewelry or industrial metals or electronic components. I love earrings. I'm an earrings kind of a girl, and I love dainty and interesting earrings. So what you see on me today, right now, these are the mini Huggie hoops. They retail for $59. These are 14 karat gold plated on sterling silver. These are the Cassie. These retail for $49, and they are also 14 karat gold plated on sterling silver. And the gem you see here is a cubic zirconia. These are so dainty, I cannot even handle it. Look how cute they are. Because it's an open hoop, it just goes right into your little ear opening, and then you turn it around until the gem is up top and it hugs the bottom. Isn't that adorable? Oh, and these last ones are so cute, I can barely even handle it. These are called the Love. These retail for $95, and they are 14 karat gold plated on brass with cubic zirconia spelling out the word love, and this is a freshwater pearl center. These ones are ear jackets, which you know I freaking love, and what's super cool about these is that the ear jacket is detachable, so you could just wear the pearl if you wanted to, and the jacket is adjustable. So there's 3 different holes, different points up and down the jacket, so you could wear these a little bit lower, or you could wear them as close to your ear as you can. My ear holes on this ear, I'm in the middle hole, and in this ear, I'm on the bottom hole, which is really cool. It's a way to even it out so that my uneven earlobe piercings don't tell on me. So when you're browsing the Ana Luisa site, you're gonna notice rings, necklaces, earrings, all kinds of things, all sorts of designs, dangles, dainties, ear jackets, and the pricing is definitely something for everybody too. So the pricing starts at $39, and it works its way up from there depending on maybe some of the finer pieces featuring authentic diamonds. I don't know if you noticed, but I do have 3 ear piercings, so really, I could probably wear all these together. Shall we? Cute. Woo! Look at that. I mean, it's just a matter of taste, but if you're somebody who likes a fully dressed ear, you got it. I know that you're gonna love these pieces, and you can save 10% on your purchase by using code GOBLIN10 for my goblins. Okay, that's enough gushing over Ana Luisa Jewelry. Let's get to the murders. Okay, I forgot also to say what is it that we're doing, in case you're new. Crue Trime, I'm gonna tell a Crue Trime story. Crue Trime means true crime, if you're boring. And I'm just gonna get ready at the same time. So here we go. Usually I already have a face on, like foundation and brows, because that takes forever. Why am I talking with this hair clip? I don't know. I think I want to do something different because I typically do like a very dramatic look, and I want to celebrate my gingerness. So that's what we're gonna do. The Redhead Murders are a series of unsolved murders by an unidentified male serial killer that occurred from late 1978 to 1992 along the highways between Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. And the killer in this case was also called the Bible Belt Strangler because if you're not familiar with that region of the United States, the Bible Belt is essentially the entire southeast region. It's a good 30% of the country, and the most prominent religious group are the Baptists, which is a very conservative Christian situation. So what makes this the Redhead Murders is that all of the victims had hair in varying shades of red. Since these crimes have not been solved and the killer has not been positively identified, there is a fair amount of guessing and assumptions in this story. Also, many of the victims in this case were never identified. They may have been drifters or had been out of touch with their families that made them easier targets. Okay, so today we are going to go kind of out of order. We're going to go in the order that the victims were found, but not necessarily in the order of the actual murders. Don't go overboard with concealer, Sarah. The first scene is Wetzel County, West Virginia. On February 13th, 1983, the naked body of a woman was found along Route 250 in Wetzel County, West Virginia. A pair of senior citizens reported the body, originally thinking that they had happened upon a discarded store mannequin. The body had definitely been discarded recently since there was snow on the ground, but none on the body. Investigators found that she had died about 2 days previously, so the cause of death was undetermined but assumed to be strangulation. The woman was estimated to be between 35 and 45 years old. She had a petite build and red hair. The identity of this particular victim was never discovered. Spoiler alert. But once more red-headed bodies began to pop up along the interstate highways from Pennsylvania to Kentucky. Nope, Arkansas. From Pennsylvania to Arkansas. The police linked this case to the series of homicides known as the Redhead Murders. All right, next, in September of 1984, the body of a 28-year-old woman named Lisa Nichols was found on Interstate 40 near Memphis, West Memphis, Arkansas. When she was found, she was wearing only a sweater and she had been strangled. Okay, I cannot talk and do eyebrows at the same time. So it took investigators nearly 9 months to identify her because she had been estranged from her family, so they weren't looking for her. Most times in these kinds of cases where, an unidentified person is discovered deceased, there's usually missing persons reports or something like that to help connect the dots, but that was not the case here and in many of these instances. The identity of Lisa Nichols was eventually confirmed by a couple that lived in Florida who had hosted Lisa in their home for a time. So it is thought that Lisa had likely been hitchhiking and had been picked up by whoever it was who murdered her. Okay, these brows are not my best, but this is what we're getting today. On January 1st of 1985, a body later identified to be 21-year-old Tina Marie McKinney Farmer was found down an embankment off of Interstate 75 in Campbell County, Tennessee. She had shoulder-length curly red hair, she was clothed, and was wrapped in a blanket and had been strangled. Tina had last been seen in Indianapolis, Indiana, with a truck driver, said to be headed toward Kentucky. She had been reported missing by her family. Tina had last been seen alive on Thanksgiving of 1984. But even though I said before, remember, missing persons reports could help connect the dots, this was in the mid-80s, so national databases were not really a thing, or at least they weren't as robust as they are right now. So information sharing across state lines just really wasn't a thing until the later 80s. And because of that, it took investigators about 34 years to identify her based on fingerprints from an unrelated arrest. But I'll get back to that. So just file that away for later. In February, so just a month later, in 1985, another body was found alongside US Route 78 in DeSoto County, Mississippi. She had strawberry blonde hair and had been strangled to death. So in some of these cases, I don't really have a heck of a lot of information. It's just another redhead woman found strangled, dumped on the side of an interstate in this trucking corridor over and over and over. It's This is scary time to be a redhead, okay? Please, in the comments below, let me know if you remember any of this stuff. Gingers. On March 31st, 1985, another skeletonized body was found, this time in Cheatham County, Tennessee. She was believed to have died between 3 to 5 months previously, and the cause, of course, could not be found. However, due to the location that the body was discovered, it was linked to the other Redhead murders. She was clothed and she had red hair. On April 1st, 1985, the body of a woman was found inside of an old refrigerator along the side of Route 2 in Knox County, Kentucky, and the cause of death was ruled suffocation. A refrigerator? Ugh. She had been dead for a few days. She was nude except for socks, and she was wearing 2 very distinct necklaces. One was a heart pendant and the other was a large eagle. So this grisly discovery, you know, the body in the refrigerator, it caused a sensation in that little tiny town. And it was such a sensation that a funeral service was held for this Jane Doe. She, you know, they didn't know who she was. A funeral service was held for her. It was televised, and it was attended by hundreds of people. Several missing persons reports were eliminated as possible matches for this victim. She was aged between 24 and 35 years old. She had a petite build, and you guessed it, long red hair. Some witnesses even reported seeing this woman at a truck stop recently, alleging that she was attempting to get a ride to North Carolina. On April 3rd, 1985, the partial skeletized, is that a thing? On April 3rd, 1985, the partial skeletal remains of a young girl were discovered by a passerby on a rural, I have such trouble with that word, a country road in Campbell County, Tennessee. The size and the condition of her bones led investigators to believe that she was between the ages of 9 and 15, and she had been dead between 1 and 4 years. The cause of death, of course, was undetermined, but some of the evidence found by investigators led them to believe that it could be connected to the other Redhead murders. A cloth found around the neck of the skeleton, and it had a knot tied in. It was very similar to the knotted fabric that had been found around the necks of some of the other victims. The identity of this particular victim was never discovered. On April 14th, 1985, the body of a young woman was found in Greene County, Tennessee. She had died between 3 to 6 weeks prior to that, and she was in an advanced state of decomposition. She was estimated to be between the ages of 14 and 24 years old, petite build, red hair. Investigators were able to obtain her fingerprints and DNA, which eventually led to her identification 33 years later. She was found to be 17-year-old New Hampshire native Elizabeth Lamott. She had been staying in a group home and had gone missing, which her case was actually a sensation in New Hampshire, and it just was unsolved for many, many years. It's odd that it's tied to this. So there is certainly a pattern with these victims, right? They were physically similar. They were either estranged from their families or maybe just not close with existing family members, making them less likely to be missed. And most were not residents of the states that their bodies were discovered in. So even if there were missing persons reports, it would not have been known to those state investigators anyways. So you have to remember, in the early to mid 80s, even the term serial killer was like not a thing yet. Cross-state, interstate information sharing with law enforcement was pretty minimal, you know? Oh, just got mascara on my skin. But those databases that are so easily accessed these days, you know, within seconds you can have whatever you want at your fingertips. Those databases were in their infancy during this time. So on April 24th, 1985, there was a law enforcement summit, a 6-hour summit in fact, held in Tennessee to try to determine if the murders were related. And, you know, no surprise based on the lack of information sharing and the tools available at that time and the resources, it was inconclusive. Steve Watson, who the then deputy of the Tennessee State Bureau of Investigation at that time, said, quote, "While there are some similarities in these cases, there's also a great number of dissimilarities." And he noted that although, yeah, that was a catchy name, the Redhead Murders, Only 3 of the victims believed to be related at the time had red hair, while others were strawberry blonde or were darker haired ladies. Excuse me, Mr. Watson, there is a whole rainbow of redheadedness. We know this. We know this. Strawberry blonde is redheaded. Auburn is redheaded. They're linked. How do you guys feel about fake freckles? Are they stupid? Guess what we're doing today. Cut to 2017. Finally, a break in the case. So students from a high school sociology class in Elizabethton, Tennessee, studied the Redhead Murders. They created a profile of the killer that they named the Bible Belt Strangler. After a full semester of very detailed research and work with law enforcement and professional profilers, the students created an 8-page, 21-characteristic profile. They determined that he was a white male, aren't they all, aged between 23 and 45 at the time of the murders. They believe that he was between 5'9" and 6'2", whoa, and weighing between 180 and 270 pounds. Ooh, that's cute. Let's do some more. So the students focused very closely on the Jane Doe that was found in Knox County, Kentucky, the one that was found inside the refrigerator. They even led an entire social media campaign to try to help find her identity. So a woman named Elizabeth Pilgrim, who lived in Forest City, North Carolina, responded to a social media post. She believed that she was the daughter of that woman. A DNA test was conducted and it confirmed, and her name was Epsie Pilgrim of Western North Carolina. So Epsie Pilgrim had disappeared when Elizabeth was just 6 weeks old. Epsie also had 4 older children. DNA evidence recovered from the second victim found, Tina Farmer, the one that was wrapped in the blanket. There was some semen on the blanket, and it was a DNA match of a man named Jerry Leon Johns. He also, coincidentally, matched that student-created profile. Good job, students. So Jerry was a truck driver, who resided in Cleveland, Tennessee, before he had been arrested and convicted in 1987 of kidnapping, assaulting, and other related charges stemming from the assault of a red-headed lady named Linda Shake. Linda worked as an adult entertainer, and she used the name Tasha. Jerry had engaged Tasha's services, and then he brutally attacked her, strangled her with her own clothes, bound her, and then dumped her in a storm drain along Interstate 40. But Linda survived. So that's how Jerry was rotting in prison for what he did to Linda. On December 18th, 2019, a grand jury in Campbell County, Tennessee, ruled that Johns would have been indicted for murder in Farmer's death had he still been alive. So he had died in prison in December 2015 at the age of 67. It was not specified whether Jerry was considered a suspect in any of the other murders. So the amazing work of the Elizabethton High School students directly contributed to the identification of 3 of the presumed redheaded murder victims. 3 remain unidentified, and although there was a match with one of the victims killed by Jerry Johns, officially the killer in the redheaded murders was never named. Was it Jerry Johns? Was he working with an accomplice? Did he have a buddy? Were there just a lot of redheaded women going missing and being murdered in the 80s? I mean, I guess we'll never know. So thank you again to our sponsor, Ana Luisa Jewelry. Don't forget to check down in the description box for a link to go shopping, and don't forget to use the coupon code GOBLIN10 to save 10% on your purchase. All of the items that I used on my face in this video will be listed also down in the description box with links if you want to go shopping. Thank you so much for hanging out today and for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then consider subscribing to this channel before you leave today. I upload new videos here on YouTube every week, and you can follow me on some of the other social channels as well. I will catch you next week in next week's video. Bye! Don't start today. Oh, look at that zit that I've got brewing right there. Love it when the camera cuts off. It's the best. So dainty. 14 karat gold. These eyebrows look terrible today. Great. Fuck, I can't get it out. Go away. Cute. Let go. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No one cares. Come on. Isn't it really...